So it shouldn't be to anyone's surprise, but I support Ashley Gonzalez. Regardless of how you feel as a white American or a black American, Latinos can say whatever we want. Black Americans and white Americans try to force us into their white versus black mentality. They want us to subscribe to their social idealisms, and that includes their language. And quite frankly, I am refusing, as a Latino, I am refusing to bow down to their linguistic authority. Personally, I don't even care about Ashley Gonzalez herself. She is an individual. She can make her own decisions. If she wants to apologize, she can apologize. I, however, will never apologize. I am not going to apologize. I refuse to bow down to American bullshit when it comes to social standards, at least some of them. Like, if you're going to come at me and say, or be upset because I said the N-word, I don't give a fuck. I truly don't give a fuck. So ultimately, I don't think that black people or white people, especially Americans, have any right to tell any Latino or indigenous person how to speak on their own land. So, para mí, no me importa, papá, porque soy Latino. I'm not one of you.
I think the majority of people can agree that what Ashley Gonzalez said was extremely racist and is extremely wrong. And that type of rhetoric has no place in modern Western society, especially a society like the United States where everybody's a melting pot of different races. And it's wrong, even more wrong, because Ashley Gonzalez is a police officer. Well, as of right now, she's a police officer pending an investigation into the incident. Now, that's not the problem. The problem that I'm seeing is the way people who are responding to that incident. People are blaming Ashley Gonzalez while blaming the Latino community and labeling Hispanics, Latinos as racist individuals. That my whole group of people are racist and that Ashley Gonzalez is a representation of that racism within our community. That is completely false whatsoever, because you cannot pinpoint racism to one ethnic group. Racism is a human problem. And you can, if you want to go with that logic, you can pinpoint racism in any race, any ethnic group. White people can be racist. Asians can be racist. Black people can be racist. Hispanics can be racist. Russians can be racist. So on and so on. You get my point, right? Everybody has the potential to express racism. So the response to that is very ignorant and narrow-minded. You cannot blame an entire community because of the choices of one individual made. What Ashley Gonzalez did was her own fault. It was could have been her, whatever. It's her own individual fault that she said that. We all grew up in the Hispanic community. We've all heard racist things, but it's up to the individual on how they want to take it. That could be, what I just said right now can be applied to different ethnic groups too. I'm sure everybody out there has heard a lot of racist things coming from their grandparents or whatever, not just Latinos, white people, etc. So the way you combat racism is not through more racism. The way you combat racism is attacking the individual who said the racist comment. That's how you combat racism. I mean, and you can't live off of stereotypes. Human nature is very complicated. Just because I voted for Trump and I vote Republican does not mean I'm not proud to be Latino. That does not mean I'm proud of my heritage. I look at policies. I look at economic policies. I look at what's going to benefit me, my community, and my family. But I think the response to Ashley Gonzalez is more of a liberal, Democrat, leftist type of way of thinking. And that to me is why people should not vote Democrat. You should lean more towards conservative beliefs. You should lean more towards logic. And I think the world would be a better place. So if you like this video, help me to like, share. You can find me on YouTube, Facebook. I'm on Twitter too. Ghost of Galvez. I want to do something. I want to speak my mind on these matters, because I think the more people participate in educating people on how to think, I think the better society we will have. God.
There's two types of Latinos. One like myself who will admit that anti-blackness exists in our family and our networks, right? Now, much less in my family because I've done a lot of fucking work. It's been exhausting, but it's good work. And then the other one is the Latinos who say that anti-blackness doesn't exist, but when you get deeper, it's probably because these people say the N-word. Because even in families, Latino families, where there is much more love for blackness, there is extended family who will have anti-blackness. So no matter where you go, there's going to be some sort of anti-blackness. And to negate that, like there was a comment under my video that said that it's just my family, no one else, is just a lie. It's a lie, and you don't want to do the work, or you contribute to the harm that is being done to the black community. Maybe you say the N-word, right? And you think that's word peace because you as a Latino get to say it because maybe you got a pass from the black community. I don't know. That's something for the black community to police. That's not for me. But there is anti-blackness in the Latino community. And although I would say, I guess depends where, it's much less than when I was growing up in the Y2K in the 90s, it still exists, and it's something that we have to battle. Two, I do want to apologize because I did respond to some comments, especially ones that I felt were focusing on the wrong thing. The fact that I said that when Latinos vote against black people, some black people may feel the need to vote against Latinos. I said that understanding the conversations that I've had with some black folks, less of me assuming and more of me just messaging what I've heard. And I understand that was taken a certain way, and maybe I should have communicated better. But I digress. It's not on me to tell black people how to feel, so I'm just not going to respond to the comments because it's valid, because this is much more than one event. It's a daily problem, right? So I can see why there are types of ways about it, but also the misinformation, the misunderstandings of the Latino community as to the fact that all Latinos voted for Trump is just false. California Latinos voted for Kamala Harris, and the majority of Latinos in California are of Mexican descent. And Texas Latinos are different. I don't know what's in their water. We don't understand as California Latinos, Texas Latinos, so I cannot speak for them, just like I cannot speak for Florida Latinos, who are much more like Cuban, South American. And what that does is that it allows for the people who I'm trying to re-educate say, well, look, they're attacking us, so it just makes sense that we have to keep doing this. But that's not the black community's job to fix. It's our job to check. I've been trying to figure out how to touch on this because there's very valid points here. But I will say that as a Mexican American, there's a concept called the cosmic race, la raza cósmica. And basically, when I was growing up, they would tell you, not even just, I guess it technically is anti-blackness, but even anti-indigenous, you'll be told you have to date lighter than you because otherwise your kids will turn out ugly. So darkness equals ugly. And even the darker skinned Latinos, the darker skinned Mexicans will feel like this, or we were taught to feel like this. And what that tells us is that although we should be proud of our culture, we have to understand that, for instance, I'm not living in Mexico, I'm living in the United States, where there is a diverse pool of people, particularly in California, where Los Angeles was established not just by indigenous Mexicans, mixed Mexicans, but Afro-Mexicans. If you research it, Afro-Mexicans were still there. And the fact we don't learn this is maybe possible why we feel so divided between the groups. But ultimately, we have to understand that no matter the historical conflicts that created California under the United States, we are not in Latin America, so we should not be abiding by the Latin American cultural norms that divide us in a way in which we are trying to make a chemical child that is much lighter and therefore much more superior. Now, this has wanted down much more now because I do see much more interracial couples, not just like Hispanics and Black, but also like Mexicans and Salvadorians, which if people didn't know, there was historical beef before that. And when I mean historical, I guess I mean much more like South Central Los Angeles, maybe California, which doesn't make sense, but you always find a Mexican dating a fucking Salvadorian because why wouldn't they? And I just want Latinos to read this because we should not be hazing Black people for them to get our respect. We should not have to make sure that they're the good type of Black in order for us to respect them. And the thing is that although I understand why we feel some type of way about using our language, because we feel that it's resistance, it's revolutionary, because in the 60s they used to paddle us for speaking Spanish. They want to erase the culture. So we will refuse to erase the culture because we want to exist as ourselves within this state, within this country. But we also have to be considerate the fact that since there is anti-blackness in the Latino community, and that is said in English, why wouldn't it be said in Spanish? And therefore, why wouldn't there be distrust of Black people of what we're saying in Spanish, right? So the fault is that because we prolong anti-Blackness in the community, there is still distrust that what we say when we're not speaking English can be talking shit. So something that we have to consider is the fact that maybe, although we can still continue speaking Spanish, especially I would say with white people, because that's what I love to do. I love to go to like white neighborhoods and just speak Spanish, or like Beverly Hills and just speak Spanish, because I see that as powerful. But if you're surrounded or if you're around Black folks, maybe don't speak Spanish as much and just be inclusive of the fact that they're there, so that they are also included in the community that you're building. Because the thing is that while it's understandable that you want to speak your language, it's also understandable that they may distrust that we are perpetuating anti-Blackness within that language. So in order to fix this, just if you speak English, which I'm assuming they did because you say that they were just as educated as you, then just speak English. You can speak Spanish to white people. I don't care. But the thing is that there's actual justification for why they may feel that it may not be nice what you're saying. It is no longer nice to perpetuate the learnings that we've had as children, because that simply further divides the community. It further divides society. And I'm saying this specifically to Latinos because, as I say, it makes sense that if I was being subjugated to discourse that said that I was always less than, that I would be distrustful that there was respect, right? And that's what you felt initially, where you didn't know where you stood because they used to be so rude to you until they realized that you were worthy of respect. We should respect people no matter what on day one and just judge them on their behavior and not generalize them as a community. If we want Black folks to see us as different, as not their enemies, and I'm not saying all Black folks see us as their enemies, I'm just saying as Latinos, if we say that they see us as enemies and we don't want them to see us as enemies, and that means that we have to make it known that we are not, and that work isn't on them, it is on us. Because the fact we have to force them through little tests to demonstrate that they're actually trustworthy, quotation marks, that's just not good, that's problematic, and that's anti-Blackness. And we need to stop that. And that starts not with the other side, but that starts with how we act and how we include them and what we do.
The other day I posted about that racist police officer from Texas. I forgot what her name. It's like Ashley something. Well, the comments were not very happy with it. My Latino commenters were not very happy with that. And that dissatisfaction in the fact that I basically scolded my community for being racist, it proves everything that they're trying to convince us otherwise of, and that's that Latinos are racist. Now, for all of us who are like in the corner watching all this shit go down because we've actually worked on our anti-blackness and worked on being anti-racist, all Latinos are obviously not racist. That's a very big generalization. The problem is the racists in our community are the loudest out of all of us. And the ones who don't accept this behavior, we don't hold them accountable enough. And listen, I try to do my part and yell at Latinos for saying the N-word. I have called them out on my account. But me doing that is not going to do anything in the grand scheme of things. What is going to do that is if you bitch out and shame your friends, cousins, siblings, parents, cousins, aunts, uncles, whoever's saying it, call them out. Shame them. Shame is an incredible tool to get people to stop being terrible. Well, it's a very interesting manipulative tactic, but it works in this case.
Ashley Gonzalez got fired, which is the result that should have happened. And you know what else needs to happen? There needs to be an investigation on every case and an arrest that she has handled since she was hired. Any sort of community engagement that she has done needs to be investigated, because based on her statements, she has already made its statement saying that she does use her bias in the way that she treats the people that she comes in contact with as a police officer. And like, not only police officers are the ones that abuse their power. Like, for example, I have just made an expose on this news reporter who used this platform to allow a white man to continue spewing rhetoric that has now landed a black business owner and a black Houston woman who is just a regular food reviewer on social media be constantly given death threats and receive abuse and harassment on social platforms. This is how racism becomes part of an established system. Through police officers, news reporters, members of a board of an organization, people.
There's way too many damn racism in the Hispanic and Latino community towards our black cousins, and you'll have to lock the fuck in. Ashley Gonzalez was a Hispanic police officer who, wonderful private stories on Instagram, repeatedly he called one of her arrestees or clients, hence the N-word, who was obviously black. Heck, and why are we doing this? Like, we're also oppressed. You guys know this, right? We're not white people. The white people don't see us as white. Why are we so conflicted against each other? Why do you, as a Hispanic person, feel the need to be conflicted against a black person when we are both oppressed by the same person? Like, what is not clicking? We are closer to them, and then we are closer to them than white people are close to us. Like, be for real. They do not see you as one of them. Lock the fuck in and stop being fucking racist to our cousins. Stop.
Gonzalez has been fired. Ashley Gonzalez is the racist cop out in Houston that uploaded that video of her saying the N-word several times, saying that when she went in to work the next day, if you were a black person that she had to go out on a call for, she was going to arrest you. She was calling black people chimps. She didn't care about our slave history. Yeah, it was what we deserve because all we do is steal. Ashley Gonzalez. Yeah. When I reported on it, she was relieved of duty. I didn't know what that meant. Did that mean she was suspended, or was she under investigation, suspended with pay, suspended without pay, desk duty? I didn't know what relieved of duty meant. Well, it's now being reported that she has been fired.
All right, breaking news. We just got word that the Houston Police Department has fired Officer Ashley Gonzalez. She was the woman seen in the video going on a racist tirade, and that video has since gone viral. So this is the statement from the Houston Police Department. It says the Houston Police Department has terminated the employment of Ashley Gonzalez. As of today, she is no longer an employee of the department. HPD holds every officer to the highest standard of integrity and conduct and will not waver in upholding these expectations. After discovering the incident, Ashley Gonzalez was immediately relieved of duty duty in compliance with state and civil services laws. An investigation was conducted as fast as legally possible. And we also have a quote here from the Chief of Police, J. Noe Diaz. It says, the behavior exhibited by Ashley Gonzalez was abhorrent, disgusting, and entirely unacceptable. It is deeply disturbing and has no place in law enforcement or in our community. Now, in the video, if you haven't seen it, Ashley Gonzalez, you can hear her saying the N-word with the hard ER. You can also hear her talking about interactions that she would have with black people the next time she was back at work. She also talked about how she used that word in the Marines and she felt free using it again. She also talked about slavery. There were so many comments in there that many people in our community found very disgusting and did not feel as though someone in law enforcement who oversees people in our community to protect and serve, they didn't feel like she was someone that warranted to continue to have that badge. Today, we just learned the Houston Police Department has officially terminated her as an employee.
It's like I heard someone else say, don't you just love it when the trash takes itself out? Good riddance to bad rubbish.
So it shouldn't be to anyone's surprise, but I support Ashley Gonzalez.
Of course you do. Because you think just like her. You say that black people and white people are trying to force you into this conversation. No. White people forced you into it. Black people were just the scapegoats. We were minding our fucking business. And since you agree with Ashley, can I ask you a serious question? The fuck did black people ever do to you? You, personally. Why you hate her so much? If we go through history, there were no black faces that were fucking with Mexican and Latino speaking, Spanish speaking people. It wasn't us. You want to go with present day? The president of the United States that I heard a whole lot of Spanish speaking people talk about, I will vote for Donald Trump, is currently rounding up anybody with a little bit of melanin in their skin and the last name of Gonzalez to take your ass to CCOT, which is in El Salvador. That ain't a black president that did that. Why you hate us? Why? Who taught you to hate us? You should look up Fred Hampton's Rainbow Coalition. There's a group of Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters that fought right alongside Fred Hampton and the Black Panther Party. You disgrace them because I have never seen motherfuckers that will capitulate so fast to white skin. Of course you agree with her. Because you think like that. See, you got life twisted in the game, homie. We ain't asked you to fucking pick a side. I find that funny. I find that mentality funny. Black people and white people are trying to make us pick their black, white, but no, we're not. White people are making you try to do that shit. Black folks is over there going, come or not. We don't really, at this point, we don't care. All we've ever tried to fucking do is liberate your dumb asses. You see, you George W. Bush, no children left behind type motherfuckers don't seem to understand that the civil rights movement and the Civil Rights Amendment, along with the Voting Rights Amendment, that wasn't just for black people. It wasn't. It was not. Civil rights for everyone. Do you think they didn't hang Mexicans? You didn't think they didn't fucking go down to Puerto Rico and abuse the people in Puerto Rico, abuse the people in Haiti and the Dominican Republic? You don't think that happened? Did you see any black folks on there? Did you see any black folks as the captain of those boats? Did you? No. Y'all were given that binary by white folks. You see, on the one hand, since you want to talk about choices, on the one hand, you had black people who were literally looked down upon in almost every quadrant of this country. And then that bullshit racism was spread around the world. Hello, Birth of a Nation and Al fucking Jolson. All we've ever tried to do is fight for civil rights. Civil. Not more, not better, not above, not superior, civil. And on the other hand, you have those same white folk that talk about your Spanish ass when your back is turned. But what do they tell you? Don't be like them over there. They're lazy, shiftless, welfare getters, thieves, criminals, do drugs, blah, blah, blah. Be like us. And then you find out, yeah, that ain't gonna happen. It's not. All that I will vote for Donald Trump. What did it get y'all? ICE detention centers. Motherfuckers supporting something called Alligator Alcatraz. Did you know there are 100 people who were detained in Alligator Alcatraz that still have not been accounted for? Y'all fell for that bullshit. A lot of Latinos that talk this white supremacist shit, y'all fell for that. We did not give you that choice. You fell for it. That was never in our motherfucking, to be an ally to us or be an accomplice to us, we never asked you to do that. Never. We just said, see what the fuck's going on. Look for your goddamn self. But that wasn't enough. No matter how many times they mistreated, shit on, abused Spanish-speaking people, y'all always kept trying to kiss up to them. And one of the things they don't like about our asses is we can't assimilate. You have white passing black folk, and even some of them are like, I don't pass that goddamn much. All we have ever asked you to do is look and think for your goddamn self. But years and years and years and decades and decades and decades of misinformation, disinformation, and flat out goddamn indoctrination have y'all believing, people like you and Ashley Gonzalez, that somehow if you act just like these motherfucking white folk, they'll accept you. They're never going to. The white patriarchal, white supremacist mindset means your ass is here with us. But you keep fighting your ass off not to be near anyone. I know black, Papi, I know black. So I'm not surprised you agree with Ashley. But if you're going to go ahead and kiss ass of white supremacists, do us all a favor. Don't put us in the middle of your shit. You made the conscious decision. You did. As a grown-ass adult, you made the conscious fucking decision to suppress all that you know about the history of this country and how people who speak Spanish have been treated in order for you to get along with them motherfuckers. Black folks ain't have shit to do with it. So do me a favor. Comments will be open on this. Explain in a detailed way. I don't need another video. Just explain in a detailed way. I don't care how many comments you have to make. What did black folks ever do to you? You personally. What did they do? That would make you fucking believe they're going on a racist ass tirade, which cost Ashley her job, by the way, is somehow something you need to agree with. Who are you doing that for? Do you think the white supremacists see that and go, yep, that's one of the good ones? Let me know, home.
And one thing you know about me, I'm always going to call out the Latino community because as a Afro-Latina, y'all know y'all racist as fuck. I know because y'all treat people that look like me and darker like shit. Now, with this Ashley Gonzalez bitch, let me tell you. Now, you're right. The people that say, oh, she don't represent Latinos as a whole, y'all are right. But then also there's people that look exactly like her that says the racist ass shit that she was saying in her video and then think y'all gonna fucking get away with that shit. Then not only is that channel already don't respect the people that's here, the black folk that's already here, but y'all also don't even respect the fucking Afro-Latinos in your own fucking country. Mind you, Y'all will sit there and be like, oh my gosh, Latinos, we're all one. Whole time we're not. Y'all disrespect black people, and then y'all disrespect the same black folks in your own country, and then bring that shit fucking here. Oh, that always one shit is bullshit. Wanna know why? Because me, as an Afro-Latino, does not experience the same thing that you people that's lighter than me experience. You don't have to deal with the constant, oh, I didn't know you speak Spanish every time you talk to another Latino in Spanish. You don't have to experience that, which is weird because you think because I look like this, that don't mean I speak Spanish? So yeah, that bitch is dead wrong. The fuck? She's dead wrong. Does she represent Latinos as a whole? No, but there's people that look just like her that's racist as fuck and say the racist shit she say and disrespect the black people here, period. And then on top of that, y'all voted for people that look like her voted for fucking Trump. So the worst part about it, none of y'all want to sit here and actually take accountability. Like, y'all know in the Latin community how fucking racist these people is. Y'all know, y'all come from these racist ass countries that teach you how to be racist, and y'all bring that bullshit here, but y'all don't want to take accountability.
So guys, there you go, and you have watched the first gentleman. I shouldn't be calling him a gentleman because of whatever he just said in that video. You see, on this channel, I keep insisting on one thing, that we understand that most of these things are happening, and when I say most of these things, I'm talking about racism. Most of racism is happening because of many people are not aware of what racism exactly is and what it does. And you see, for a very long time, people have not been talking openly about it. It was something to be ashamed of, and it was something that makes you feel really bad. So many people did not want to engage in that. And even so, we did not have open social media like we have now, where people can air their feelings raw and unfiltered. And yeah, to just make other people understand what it really does to them. Now, I totally appreciate every single person that has grown to an age where they think it is important to learn, to unlearn, and to relearn, because that is the only way that we will move forward as human beings. And when I say we, I mean every other race, everyone, every human being. As long as you can watch this and you can understand what I'm saying, that's the only way that we're going to move forward. Understand, first of all, that you do not know it all. Understand and accept the fact that you need more education. That is actually the point. That we all need, and it's urgent that we get this kind of education. Because then, only then, will you understand why some things are the way that they are, why black people keep talking about this and that, and how it hurts them. You will not need to, have half-baked information about that. You will know totally what they mean when they say they have been hurt by this and that. And most importantly, for example, talking about internalized racism, that I think has to be the worst kind of racism, because it is almost like hidden, and if you're not very keen as a non-black person, you might miss on noticing that whatever you just said or did is going to be harmful and hurtful to a black person. With that in mind, guys, anyone that puts in effort to learn about racism, to learn about how their actions and their words affect other people, that is someone that is trying to change the world. Now, we'll talk about changing the world and making a world a better place for everyone, for all of us. Making the world a better place for all of us begins with such acts. Make sure that you are giving yourself a little bit of time in your 24 hours a day. Make sure that you have a few minutes here and there to learn about racism and all these things. And I must say that racism is very wide. you need to start that journey with a very open mind. It's very wide, and you need to be open-minded to understand, because there are some things that will actually not make a lot of sense, because you will not understand why this and that would hurt someone, and to you maybe that is okay. You think, why would that be a very big issue? Why would they be hurt by this and that? And to you maybe you think it's supposed to be funny, it's supposed to be like a joke, but then you find that your black mates are not okay with whatever you just said. So I'd like that all of you guys, I'm sorry, I hope that you're not getting the noise. So yeah, we appreciate everyone that is trying. At least your act of putting in effort is encouraging, and once you put it out there and many people get to interact with this kind of content, it is going to be very easy for this knowledge to travel across and get to everyone, you know, by simply tapping a share button, and you help the other person and the other one and the other one, you know, and that is how we become a great people. Now, you've heard what the guy in the first video said, and he talks about saying the N-word, and he says he's unapologetic about it. He will do it whenever he wants to do it, and he will not feel sorry about anything, because he does not want any association with black people, and he says it out boldly. Wrong move, I would say, and you know, you have seen what happened to him, and it's very unfortunate that we are still having such individuals, yeah? People that have made sure that they do not want to learn, and instead of shutting their mouths, they want to broadcast their ignorance on platforms as big as this. They want to parade ignorance, you know. That is some kind of courage and some level of confidence. For you to parade that kind of ignorance, I mean, I do not have words for you. Yeah, and then there are those ones that easily pick that we're living in a situation and in a world where some people are honest and some are deliberately liars. The honest ones will talk about, yeah, I have experienced racism in my family. I used to see my parents do this and this. They used to say this and that. They used to look at black people in this manner, and they used to say this and this about them. And those kinds of people, in as much as when they are saying it out loud, it gives some kind of feeling, but it is very easy for you then to forgive them, because you're thinking if they have gotten to a level where they think that it's important to apologize and to do something about it, then at least they are moving, yeah? And that means that the generations that are going to come out of them, it's going to be better. It's going to be way, way better than where they come from. So, but I really have a problem with these ones that keep insisting that there is no racism in their communities or in their families or wherever they come from, because that is not even practical. It's not practically true. You know, you cannot oppress someone and then you get to determine how much they have been hurt. I do not think it is in your place to decide how much you've hurt someone. It is never going to be in your place. When someone says you've hurt them this much, just believe it and don't even argue, you know. Just let it go, because if they have said that you hurt them, they have a reason why they say that, and they are the only ones that can actually measure the amount of hurt that they have experienced. Now, for the rest of you that are not black people, kindly continue supporting, continue doing the education, and continue educating yourselves even more on these things and share whatever you find with your peers, your friends, your families especially, because family is the unit where every person feels free to do whatever it is that they want to do. In families is where you will find the first encounter with racism, and you will realize that in a family unit, be it extended or a nuclear family or whatever family that you come from, it's very easy for you and your people to be open and talk about these things, and you will see the people's true colors. You will see how they behave. You will see what they say, and these things will make you gauge how they look at black people and other races. And once you notice something little that is off about them, make sure that they know, because pointing it out clearly, then it makes them feel like even in family they should not be doing whatever it is that they do. And most often than not, they know that it's wrong and they know that they shouldn't be doing it, but they do it anyway because they think they are in a safe space. Because family, you know, like even if your family member is going to correct you, they're not going to do it publicly. They're not going to do it in a way that makes you feel belittled or feel like, you know, like you're not going to lose a job because you did that with family members. Yeah, but it should make everyone feel uncomfortable to talk about and say racist things, whether it is in family, whether it is at church. And sadly, these things are even happening in churches. There's no place that is actually safe. There's no place that is safe. Even in churches, people are picking. I have seen a video once, and there was a Catholic priest that was taking some photos, some pictures with fellow white people, and then a black kid walked into the picture, so that they were now around 4 or 5 plus the baby. And that priest is actually the one that, you know, like you could see his facial expression, and he picked the baby and almost threw the baby away, you know, like he was that annoyed. And you think, after seeing such things, you think to yourself, if this is a priest, this is someone that is supposed to be a man of God, this is supposed to be the places that you feel safest, you know. Even if something happens to you as a black person and you're a believer, maybe church would be the place that you run to first. But this is what they are doing. How much more don't you know? You know, that's the only question that I keep asking myself, and it makes me feel very sad. And you know, how much more don't you know? Because even if we're talking about racism, it's only the things that we have at least been able to hear. What more don't we hear? What more is discussed under those rules where we do not have access to? What do they say when we're not there? What do they say when we do not have anyone that is a black activist, a person that fights for black people? What do they say when they are in a room where all of them are racist? For example, you have a meeting and it's a boardroom meeting at work, and it's all white people, for example, and they all hate black people. What do you think they say in those meetings? Yeah? Now, those are the real things that fortunately we do not even get to hear, because then that would be bad. Someone that is capable of calling you the N-word in public and in front of a camera, that like that lady that called the little child the N-word, how much is that person capable of doing in private where there's no one that will judge them? Just think of that, you know. We need a lot of education. We need to spread awareness. We need to talk about these things as much as we can. It cannot be that the only place that we are safe is the Epstein files. Yeah. So guys, I will see you on my next one. And before that, kindly, if you're watching this video for the first time, consider subscribing to my channel. If you like this kind of content, consider subscribing to my channel. Returning subscribers, thank you so much for the love and the overwhelming support that you keep giving me. You like this video, give it a thumbs up. You like it a little too extra, give me a super thanks, and share the video, leave a comment, you know. Yeah, let's keep interacting in the comment section, and I will see you on my next one, guys. Bye, and I love you so much.